What's up, Arkansas? Tonight we're talking about bug out vehicles. Is it what we're thinking? Military vehicles, trailblazers, 4x4 off road, jack 10 feet in the air? Let's discuss. So, what we're talking about tonight, bug out vehicles. Okay, last week we talked about the pros and cons for bugging in versus bugging out, and everything is a personal choice. When you think bug out vehicle, are you thinking the biggest, baddest military style vehicle you can think of? Or is it an old beat up pickup that you carry your preps in? Let us know what you think. As far as vehicles, you've probably seen some of these. Get it up on the screen here. Your regular military vehicle. Yeah, they're great. But how many do you see in Arkansas? It would stick out like a sore thumb, wouldn't it? Or something along the Mythbusters idea, strapping a blade on the front of a semi, be able to move vehicles out of the way. That's always fun. What about just your normal everyday camping rig? Blend in with the soccer moms. Hey, Lone Wolf, good to see you. Blend in with society. Kind of the gray man techniques. Have just a little camper you're pulling. Look like you're going camping. And then you get the tactical trucks. Yeah, they can be used for a lot of other things, and you do see them pretty regular in Arkansas. So you could blend in with something like this. Hey, Reaper, how are you? Lone Wolf, you're absolutely right. Those big trucks, they do stick out, but would be useful in a pinch. This, this is a Sherp. This is ATV with a trailer. Now, something like this be great. They're slow as hell, but you can move a lot of things and through anything, water, land, over big rocks. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, I'd say this would pretty well stick out too. But you wouldn't have to worry about anything sticking out or not. And then you get the old Unimogs, they even the newer ones. They stick out. They're pretty tough and pretty customizable. So, what do you guys think? Just regular pickup, bigger pickup, or just what you have? I mean, I've seen everything from uh, Jeep Cherokees that are four-wheel drive. Uh, they've been useful as far as towing, moving stuff, keeping using it as a improvised shelter if you have to. Semi trucks with sleepers, those would be good. They also blend in fairly well. I mean, you wouldn't want to pull up with one of those when everything else is mini rigs. That just really wouldn't fit. But overall, you could still get quite a bit done with that. They've got all the power you need. Diesel engines generate water, and you can actually build water collection systems for that. Hi, Arkansas Living. How are you? Anything with gas in it? Yeah, I agree. It's really a personal choice, and you can ask every single prepper that you know, and they're all going to have a slightly different answer. Whether it's what they pack in it, what they outfit it with. Some want winches because they'll be going through the woods, trekking, hooking up to trees, keep from getting stuck, or pulling it out from getting stuck. Uh, Discussions of even motorcycles and bicycles. A lot of things. Speaking with one person the other night, and they just wanted to get their toolbox out of the truck and be able to have a dolly, something like that, if they had to leave their truck. And we discussed about putting an electric motor on that and just riding the top of the dolly. There's all kinds of inventive and crazy ways to accomplish the bug out, and what qualifies as a vehicle may or may not work. But if it works for you, all the power to you. Hey, Arkansas Living, you got any of those banjos? Come on. Now, Arkansas Living, if any of y'all have seen his videos, looks like a regular pickup truck, but I swear it's bigger on the inside because everything he needs is in that truck, right in the cab. He'll pull it out, talk about it, and it disappears after that. Then you don't see it again, and then he talks about something else, and wow, that shows up. By the time things have been talked about, you could fill up 3 semi trucks. And where does it go? It's all there, just well organized. There's always a pro and con 4-wheel drive. I agree. I am pro 4-wheel drive or 6-wheel drive if you have it. Uh, just for the trails, and we've got a lot of pig trails through the national forest everywhere. Uh, and bigger fuel tanks, I think, are a thing that that worth looking into. Arkansas Living, Magic Hat, yeah. Hi Merkel, good to see you. In the pickle jar, yep, absolutely. So, what are your thoughts on bug out vehicles? We said it again. It's a personal choice. I mean, I like SUVs because they can double as a shelter, or if you have a pickup with a camper on it, they still fairly blend in. You can haul a lot of stuff with them, especially if they're 4-wheel drive. You can get off of the road and uh, out of civilized areas if need be pretty quick. But I don't know. Those military ones, they look pretty cool. My favorite was the armored personnel carrier. Just the shape of it makes me think, you know, I could push some things out of the way with that. Let's see. Yeah, this one right here. I love that. It's just so ugly. Yeah, that's what I want. But I live in Arkansas. I can't afford that. Good to see you, Redneck. 86 4x4 toy truck with a 6-inch lift. That'll get some stuff done. I'm guessing Toyota. Yeah, absolutely. Quad with a trailer on it. Yep, absolutely. 1500s. Yep. Lone Wolf, I grew up with Chevy too. I love the S10s because even if it's muddy, they're light enough that you can just skim on over. 4-wheel drive or not, I have torn up a lot of 2-wheel drive vehicles pretending they were 4-wheel drive. But it's fun. It's part of learning. And the doubling is with the camper shell, doubling as a shelter. You don't have to set it up. You don't have to fight the rain to set up a tent, get a campfire going. You can, without building a fire in the bed of your pickup with a camper on it, there you can still heat that area relatively easy and easier than you would with a tent because it has a little bit more material around it, so you'll have a little bit better insulation. Old Toyota, yeah, And those engines are tough. They seem to last forever. Seen a lot of them run 400,000 miles and not miss a lick. Hey, Bug Dude, good to see you. The Cherokees, yeah, there's a lot of Cherokees that you see off roading, and they're pretty tough. Used to drive one. Actually, it was my dad's when I first started driving, and that sucker would go everywhere. And that one was a 2-wheel drive. But 22R, I'm showing my ignorance here. What is that? We're always showing our ignorance here. This ain't anything professional. But yeah, going to try to keep it fairly short tonight. The got a little toy engine. Okay, gotcha. Toyota engine. See, that's it. I'm a Chevy guy. You know, I don't know Toyotas that well. I know they can run forever, but yeah. Backwoods and prepping. It's got a little event going tomorrow, and I'm getting packed up and ready for it. And we're going to try to get you some videos, either me splatting him pretty good with the airsoft or him getting me pretty good. Mayhem should be there. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope everyone gets some entertainment out of it. I'm going to try to get him to do the Choco Challenge. Anyway, got two 86 Chevy 4x4s also. That's a good year too, because that's when they started doing the disc brakes, isn't it? Was it 86 or 89? I forget. But on the front end, I think it was an 89 front end that we pulled out for a 65 project I did years ago. But yeah, and as far as vehicles, I mean, I know at least some of you know welders. And there are a lot of ways, if you upgrade your suspension, put a 3/4 rear end in one, if it's if 1500, something like that, and beef up your suspension, you could armor the inside of those things, strip them all out, weld the plates in piece by piece, and makes it a lot heavier, maybe a little slower. But if you got a powerful engine and good transmission, it'll carry it. Plus you and your family and whoever you need. Hey, Hillbilly, how are you? Hillbilly, what do you think is the best bug out vehicle? I, I've heard it said this week, just this week, someone didn't care what it was, even if it was a tricycle with a little bell on it, anything beat walking. So a bug out vehicle could be a pair of roller skates. Uh, I wouldn't recommend going on the road, but to each their own. A Jeep guy, okay. Those Cherokees are pretty nice. You see, like I said earlier, you see a lot of them off road. More white ones than anything, surprisingly. But see them all. You see every kind of redneck version imaginable in this area. Like I said, almost all of them are white. And when you see them all pull into a parking area outside of a campground, something like that, you really start to see the ingenuity behind it. It's just stuff welded on it, winches, giant bumpers, and I'm not talking brush cards. I'm talking, you know, 8 or 9 inch diameter steel pipe welded to the front of these things where the bumpers came off. It's a 2000 Cherokee. Heck yeah. See, it's what you make of it. as long as you know your vehicle is going to be dependable. A lot of people like the older ones that are carbureted, things like that, just in case EMP. But there's not. It doesn't seem like there's enough research for going against the modern vehicles in that regard. It's been discussed a few other times. Hi, Walking. How are you? Or Walker? Ford guy. Oh, we could have some discussions. But yeah, I mean, anything works. As long as you trust it, you think it's going to get you from A to B and safely, who cares what anyone says? It could be the ugliest thing on the road. And as long as it's yours and you trust, more power to you. Lone Wolf makes a good point. They are easier to work on if they're older. In a shift scenario, the old vehicles, really you could build the parts to with enough time, even in those power out situations. You could scavenge for parts, all kinds of stuff. That moved on me. Where'd we go? There we go. But yeah, the older ones, all you really have to do is worry about your jets, coils, points if that's the distributor you have. The 306. Yeah, I've owned everything, every brand except for a Toyota. I don't know why, because I actually like the Toyotas. I just don't know much about them. I've got an '05 Trailblazer that is currently needing a shift cable, which I bought. I just haven't put it in yet. It's four-wheel drive. It's a beater. I was going to give it to one of my kids, but it's it is what it is. It was too ugly for them, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's going to be my camping and muckabout vehicle. So while they're not the best in the world, I mean that inline six is one of the last ones Chevy put out. It's got a lot of torque, so it can pull if it needs to. Hi Tank, good to see you. Yeah, yeah. It, it's a soccer mom vehicle, but it's got it where it counts, and it's ugly, so soccer moms won't even drive it. I know a geo tracker lone wolf that would blow your socks off, and it's a tracker that was actually set on top of a Toyota four-wheel drive frame, and that is the neatest little toy I've seen. It's charged, it's everything. It's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as your biggest and best, what do y'all think would be the best for Arkansas? I mean, we've got water, we've got bogs, uh, we've got mountains, rivers, hills, and a lot of mud. I mean, that Unimog I really like just because of the way the tires are set up, the way the differential's set up with it. Uh, they can carry a lot and they can hold a lot of fuel. But there's not much protection. It looks like it's all glass. Of course, the one I showed earlier, I'll bring it up on the screen again. I mean, I think that's a late 80s Unimog, but the way these are set up is because everything's locked on these, if I understand correctly. The front diff and the rear diff are both all lockers. And that would serve a lot in the mud and grime around here trying to get through the trails. Problem is, it's so big that a lot of the trails it wouldn't even fit because most of them are made for side by sides and four wheelers. Yeah, yeah. Uh, they're narrow enough that they can fit through those paths too. Let's see, but yeah, that's the best point right there. Has anyone thought about a dozer, one of the big track vehicles? If you've got one of those, you can make your own path. Of course, it'll probably be a big enough path that you don't want to take it straight to a bug out location, because then you just built a road for everyone else to show up. I don't know about that either. A razor is wider than a samurai. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Those things are pretty tiny. But fun. Back in the, I guess it was early 2000s. What was the Isuzu one? Was it the rodeo? No, it was rodeo was the bigger one. What was the other one that was small like the tracker? Now I gotta look that up. Anyway, there was one of these that had a roll cage, everything else in it, and we used to all go camping and having fun at a local creek. And this thing just got left out in the middle of a field that everybody would go mudding in. So everybody took turns jumping in it, driving around, and then rolling it on purpose. Sidekick. Thank you, Tank. But that was the most fun I'd ever had, and I never found out who owned it. It was fun. Of course, everybody stayed drunk up there. It was crazy times. But the troopers are fun too. Uh, I I think that was the mid or bigger one, wasn't it? But yeah, anything smaller like that, or even really big, would work depending on what you're wanting to do. If you're just wanting to move stuff from A to B, it might be a good idea to blend in. If you're already moving in a hostile situation, you might want to think about something a little heavier. But the mid-size, I think, is the way to go for here, at least in Northwest Arkansas. Down south, that's probably not the best choice. But I don't know. Let's see. Anybody want to jump on here? All right. Yeah, get a tank. Maybe if I hit the multi-million or something like that. I don't even play those scratch offs. I'd rather prep. But Middle East got a bunch of free tanks. I'll shut up. Let's see here. What about? Oh, there we go. Hey, Reaper.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great. You doing all right this evening?
Yes, I am. Wishing I was down there.
Wishing you were down here already. Well, I mean, we'll be happy to have you. And the way things are going, you might want to up your timetable.
Yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on it.
Let's see. Now, another concept that has been talked about in the past. Well, that's not a great idea. Great image there. Stealth
The panel
campers.
vans.
Yeah. Now, that's a Facebook group. Why do I always get the wrong? Any of the Mercedes vans and the normal work vans, those have been turned into stealth campers. I know the Chevys at least, and I think the Fords did too. They had some that were four-wheel drive, and if you were to convert one of those into a stealth camper type situation, you could move a lot that way and still blend in. Hey Badger, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it just looked like a work truck. I used to, a few years ago, I had our Arkansas Prepper Network logo on mine, but I took it off. And now I still have a couple stickers on there, but it's, geek stuff like Star Wars and things like that everybody has that's a geek. So that that I figured was still a little blending in, I guess. Slap a handyman sticker on the side. Yeah, that would work too.
Even some of the box trucks, I've seen them converted into stealth campers.
Yeah, like the U-Haul trucks and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, because they have
Absolutely.
a good place to put a bed up above,
Yep.
and the rest is all your open space.
Yep. It's pretty neat what you could do with those. I don't I don't think there's any that are four-wheel drive though, are there?
I haven't seen any.
But it shouldn't be too hard to convert one. I mean, if
I
you've
wouldn't think
got,
so.
say you have I'm just going to use Chevy as the example because I kind of know their model series, the series of models. But if you got one of the 3500, something like that with the long bed, that could still fit one of the boxes. And if you had a four-wheel drive version of that, it would make sense to be able to do it that way. Oh, good grief. You've been up a while, Badger. I think about this time tomorrow night, I'll be about the point you are. That and probably have a few welts from airsoft. But
Layers work wonders.
yeah, but
You'll
I'm
be a little
going
warm.
if it doesn't rain. That's what I'm wondering, because I'm actually electing to go without a tent for the overnight, and I'm just going to throw a hammock up. So if it rains, I mean, I've still got my Gore-Tex, but it's going to be interesting no matter what. I could not find, I've got every kind of tent imaginable except for a single person one, and I could not
Well,
find one today or yesterday.
worst case scenario, hang your hammock up and build yourself a little lifted space underneath and use the hammock as your tent cover.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take some plastic with me that's folded up and just put over, just in case it does rain. But I mean, it's a parachute fabric, so if it does get wet, it's not that big a deal for the hammock, and it's not going to fill up with water. Yeah, I agree, Badger. Keeping your vehicle maintained now is less headaches later. Like I said, that Trailblazer that of mine, it'd been sitting in the backyard or back side of the house for 6 months or so. I pulled it out to decide to start fixing it up for camping. And as soon as I tried to put it in the park, the shift cable broke on me. So that's always fun. Hi, Arkansas Whoop Ass. How are you? You just put that name up there so everybody can say Whoop Ass every time you come on. I like it. Hey, Tank. How are you?
What's up?
Oh, not much. Just shooting the breeze. How about you?
I just got done eating supper.
Well, cool. Did you save some for me?
No.
Crap.
Hey, did that piece of shit just ban Russian ammo?
What?
That's what I'm hearing is he put some kind of ban on importing Russian ammo, which is, if I'm not mistaken, like half the ammo. I know this ain't on topic. I just seen it and was wondering.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the way it looks.
What did he do?
It's just an import ban from Russia.
I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but I think a lot of ammo comes from Russia, like almost half.
Looks like Badger's saying about 40%.
Yes, that's kind of where I was thinking.
Wow. Interesting times. I mean, I have very little steel case as it is, but still, 80.
Well, if you take half the people that's buying the steel case and put them to buying what you're buying,
Yeah.
that's that you already can't find. That sucks.
Hell, sometimes I can't even find it after I buy it.
That's good.
Keeps me from wasting it, huh?
Here you go.
Wow. What is this guy doing?
I don't know. I'm sorry to get you off subject. That just came up and I
No,
was
no.
wondering. I hadn't had time to look into it.
I mean, this is why we're here. It's topic is, yeah, the topic can fit anything. Badger, what do you mean starts getting better? It looks like it's been going downhill the whole time. Bad's been turning to worse. I mean, the only thing we have is, each other and our families, and definitely not people in charge right now. Uh, let's see.
What was his reasoning for it, or what did he even give one?
I'm just seeing firearm blog 2 hours ago. Ammo Land saying it. 24-hour campfire. I'm not seeing an actual official source. Let's look on this.
Get on Ammo Seek real quick and see what things look like.
Ammo Safe.
Ammo Seek. To see what the lowest price for 5.56 or 223 is. I still haven't figured out how to do anything other than this on my phone without kicking myself.
Ammo Seek won't let me access their website because I'm behind a VPN.
You
There we go. I don't think anyone can see that.
Well, it hadn't hit yet. That's about where it's been. I kind of watch that. You can tell when stuff's getting stupid by the cheapest price on them.
Yeah. Hi, Harvey. How are you? PSA's been having some deals on 223. Right on.
Yeah, the price has come down quite a bit.
I haven't bought any in probably a little over a month now.
Well, just for example, when it was really, really stupid, the cheapest price on Seek was 72 cents a round.
Wow. That's
Been
just
around 40 for a little bit. 30s last few weeks, couple weeks, I guess.
This is the first time I've actually been to this website. I've always
It's
done
pretty
cheaper
cool.
than dirt. And I know they scalp like crazy at cheaper than dirt. Hmm. So I guess for our bug out vehicles, there's not going to be any full auto, you know, mounted firearms.
People taking them full autos right now and throwing them in the lake for real.
Yeah, they they ain't worth the metal they're made out of. Brass, waste, and POS. But yeah, so at least 22's made here. Like 99% or 90% of the 22 ammo, isn't that all American made?
I, I mean, there's a lot of them ones you can't pronounce, Aguilera or whatever they are. I don't know where they're from. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff made here, but just if you take, 40%, 40 and 50% was like what I was thinking, and that's what Badger said about 40. So, it's not really the fact of what's made here. It's just the fact that you take 40% of what's on the shelf and get rid of it.
Yeah. Where can you get an MRAP, Badger?
No comment.
But yeah, looks like we're in for what is this, wave 4, 3 of ammo shortages?
I don't really think it's waves.
It's just kind of a fluctuation, I guess.
Persistent pain in the ass.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, that's life too. But we make the best of it we can, right?
That's just aggravating. I don't know.
I just want to run over to Afghanistan and grab a drone and bring back.
Oh, it'd be pretty cool to fly one around up high where you could take, I'm sure they got crazy cameras on them.
Oh,
Take some
yeah.
really good, high quality pictures.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Pinsgauer. But I mean, that's a lot like our deuce and a halves. Looks like a unibody. That'd help actually on if that was 6-wheel drive. Unibody to help keep everything straight. Yeah, that wouldn't be half bad. Carry a lot of stuff, but you'd stick out like a sore thumb. Looks like it's diesel engine, winch. That's the one thing about a diesel engine is being able to do the water off of it. I mean, even in arid areas like the desert, I mean, you see the water collection systems that they used on the Humvees and the other vehicles. There's something to be said for that. And the good thing about a diesel engine is you don't have to have just diesel fuel. You can make your own. I've seen people run diesel engines off of fry grease.
Some of them.
Yeah.
The new ones won't even run off diesel hardly without throwing the coal.
Yeah. Government always stepping in the way.
That's something else you got to think about, though, too. The diesel is going to weigh a lot more. Any of them big vehicles, you get them stuck, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little Ranger or like a Polaris Ranger or something stuck, and, you know, you get a couple, 2 or 3 people, you can pick it up and get it out.
Yeah, but they don't carry a whole lot. That's the only thing. But if they're cheaper and you can have more of them. That's the other thing too, that you could do a little like a miniature convoy.
But you're pretty much not going to get off the road on one of them big vehicles.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, the really big ones you can because you're just pushing stuff out of the way at that point.
Yeah, but you're not pushing that ditch out of the way or the trees.
Yeah. Well, that's where you get a Sherp. The ditch
Yeah,
is
but
Still
no
not
problem.
coming out of the ditch.
At 120,000 for a Sherp.
Yeah. Who wants to buy something that high? Hey, Walker.
At 120,000 for a Sherp.
Welcome.
Yeah. What's up?
Who wants not much. If you can, mute your hey, Walker. Channel. Doubling through. Let's see. If on your, do you have a separate tab open on your Chrome on your browser for your YouTube? If you just mute that, then you can unmute your mic. Because you'll still be able to hear us on this link.
All right, is this better?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, what do you think about the ideal bug out vehicle?
Well, it's one that could get you from point A to point B effectively, efficiently.
Yep.
So,
Well,
I mean,
that's another thing. What are you doing with it?
well, mine is my everyday driver. I got Ford F-150 4x4. So, since that's the only thing I got, then that's what it is. But again, my bug out, I wish I was on last week's, but my bug out is last case scenario. I plan to bug in until, you know, stuff gets a little out of hand in my community. Then I plan to bug out.
If things start to get out of hand in your community, it's bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm counting on.
And that's the case for a lot of us. Anyone outside of the major population centers, I'd say is pretty well protected. But as far as
Until you get the
bugging
influx of the
out,
people leaving that.
yeah, I mean, and that'll happen a little bit, and everybody's going to want to go to the woods. But
Well, not only that, but anywhere that's off of a major highway, like you look at Interstate 40 or you look at 540 or Highway 71, Highway 64, any one of those, you got people that's going to be moving, you know, trying to get out of the cities. I mean, you get Fort Smith, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Pine Bluff, any of those. I mean, if you're off of those major roadways, everybody's got a chance to get into, you know, you really have to be out in BFE, in my opinion, to really not be able to see anybody.
yeah. And that leaves kind of the southern parts of the state and the northeast.
Yeah. Now, if it was up to me, I'd have an APC. That'd be my personal bug out vehicle.
Yeah.
If we could all afford one.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well, what are we doing with a bug out vehicle? We just riding around. I mean, going from point A to point B, or trying to stay off the roads, or what?
Well, to me, bug out vehicle would be to get me from my bug in location, my bug out location, and possibly any type of errands during that time I'd have to make. Of course, that's what it would be for me.
Talking about protected movement and
Yeah.
gathering of people.
Yeah.
Has anyone considered an ambulance? No?
I have actually looked at one once.
We were looking at one to for the radio club to make a mobile radio unit out of.
Yeah. As a retired ambulance without the lights and it not looking like an ambulance anymore, the vehicle itself would be pretty nice because you have your storage capacity. They're made to carry that weight. May not be four-wheel drive, but as far as the storage capacity, you've got that.
And you got no bed, so it's going to have to fit in it, and you're staying on the road.
Yeah. That's the one thing that would be negative about it. But
I mean, any pickup truck with a camper shell on it could act as the same thing.
yeah, but you still have a higher storage volume in the ambulance because of the height of it. That's the only, but then that goes back to the U-Haul style trucks.
Yeah. Well, didn't somebody ask on Discord about a box truck?
Yeah.
That might be a pretty.
There was one that I was trying to show. There we go.
You just get your reefer, and then you got air conditioning.
Yeah. Let's see. This is one that I actually was I was 10 minutes from actually buying this thing. And the engine was blown in it. But the back of that is a two-person camper. And then that's a quad cab that anybody could lay out in the back. It was pretty nice. I mean, it's ugly as sin, but as far as a camping vehicle, this was used as a racing cruise truck. It's not four-wheel drive, but as a camping vehicle, I think that would go to a lot of places that not necessarily off-roading, but it would be nice to have that shelter and storage capacity.
I can see how that would be pretty useful. I mean, the storage in it, I mean, you could put a comms unit in it. You could put.
Yep.
Yeah, the only comms unit I got in my pickup truck's my mobile.
Yeah. Same here. And then not necessarily a bug out vehicle, but for homesteading, you can find these every once in a while. It's
What's
kind of
wrong
a
with
do
the
it all.
tractor?
Nothing's wrong with the tractor, except they won't go up to 55 miles an hour normally, unless you get one of the newer big ones.
But that's not going to pull a disc or a bush hog.
It's not. It's got a 3-point on it. And then now that's a little, that's not exactly a gray man, but that is a Trailblazer that has been modified to accept larger wheels and tires.
Trailblazer?
Yeah, it's a Trailblazer.
Holy crap.
I'm sorry, it's my son sitting here watching this with me.
But yeah, mine's going in that direction, just not that flamboyant.
I think I'm trying to get my truck into more of an kind of an overlanding outfit, I guess you could say, because if I was to turn my truck into a bug out vehicle primarily, And I think overlanding would about be the closest thing I'd want to get. I mean, you'd have your extra water, extra fuel, pretty much anything that you need to camp out, stuff like that. I'm not talking about the rooftop rack, or the rack tents. I'm not, but more along the lines of being able to get point A to point B, and the Ozarks if I had to.
Yeah. And then that brings us to the something that always comes up.
RV.
An RV. Because everybody's watched The Walking Dead and they go, oh, the RV would be great.
RV would, in my opinion, RV would be good to stay at your bug out location just for a place to live. It wouldn't be a place to go unless you were constantly convoying across looking for a CDC or something. I mean, that's what they did in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
No.
And then everybody just loves to be tactical.
Shoot yeah.
That's what
Knock you a 50 cal on top of that and you'd be good.
Heck yeah. But that stuff, while it looks cool, is it practical? I mean, if you have the money to drop $90K on something like that and you want to stick out and it works for you, heck yeah, go for it.
Fuel
That's
alone.
not me.
Fuel alone, it'd be a nightmare. Because if you're looking at an SHTF situation, I mean, just trying to get fuel, in my opinion, would be, I mean, unless you had a pump to be able to pump it out of the ground at gas stations. And then now if you're looking at something like that, you're looking at diesel. Unless you store a lot of diesel.
Multi-fuel vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the older diesel engines, those can still be used with the fry grease and things like that. I'm trying to remember the name of the car, escapes me, but it was basically a car and truck together, but it wasn't an El Camino.
El Camino, no.
It was a different, foreign.
I don't know.
A lot of the German ones were diesel.
I'm wanting to say it was a Volvo, but
I mean, how much fry grease you gonna run across if everything's shut down?
well, vegetable oil is still pretty common.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna using that to cook with.
True.
Ethanol.
You make it with corn, though it takes forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be eating my corn.
You're not going to be eating the rotten parts.
Said I might.
I'd be making vodka out of it.
Well, we can tell who's fat here. Y'all talking about driving, I'm talking about eating.
Subaru Brat, that wasn't it.
What do you want to say?
It's about like the zombie apocalypse thing.
What about the zombie apocalypse?
How the ambulance is a like good vehicle.
Ambulance is a good vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, if they were four-wheel drive, and I'm sure some of those do exist for forestry and things like that, I think one of those would be nice.
I'm still down to y'all still on the road though.
Yeah.
No, my vehicle would be getting me.
Yeah, UTV is the way to go.
Yeah, my bug out vehicle would be getting me a point. If I had to bug out here, it'd be getting out to get me out to the property, and then from there it'd be UTV. Pretty much right around the area, doing local security or whatever the case would be.
Hauling firewood is my main. You know, 'cause you're only gonna carry so much firewood.
Surprised nobody's mentioned animals.
But I ain't got no horses
I don't either, but
or cows.
horses, mules. I mean, if it gets real bad, you can still eat them.
No, horse
Tired.
That would be the way to go.
What
Tired
about
being a little
and camel.
Lone Wolf, you mentioned you wouldn't use the fry grease in the colder months. It was a Volvo, by the way. The Volvo that I saw, he actually had a preheater that ran off of his battery, and he also was able to plug it up to his house, and it kept it warm enough to keep it from solidifying in the winter. So he was able to use that fuel even in the winter. It was pretty cool.
You could also add some anti-gels to it to help out.
To the fry grease?
I'm sure you
I can see
could.
that. I know you can with diesel, but
Diesel,
So
kerosene.
the zombies hadn't need all the power in this scenario.
any scenario.
Well, the zombies ate all your power, so you can't keep it warm.
Okay. Well, then we'll just have to go green.
I tell you what, I'm wanting one of them electric Rangers.
I want one of those 4 Lightnings.
Poor light.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking Polaris
Like,
side by side type rig.
oh, okay, yeah.
Those would be able to boogie at that weight.
Well, I think you could keep it charged with a couple solar panels.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope it's nice sunny days.
Well, we are in Arkansas.
James.
I just think I could keep one of those running longer than something that uses fuel.
Good possibility until the battery cells start to die. But if you have backups,
Yeah, but I think you'd run out of fuel way before you would run out of battery.
yeah, you make a good point.
Especially if you had backup batteries that's hooked to a solar charger.
Yeah, the Ford Ranger, I had a 98 once that was actually, it had plugs and everything was set up to where it could take an electric engine and battery setup. And I don't know how popular those got, but yeah, because the components on newer vehicles, it's too hard to find. Everything's proprietary to that model, and yeah, I agree, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, if I was to actually be able to pick, I'd pick me a 1970 Ford F-150 if I could. My grandpa had one that was a 4x4. Man, did it! We had tornado come through in what, 95?
96.
96.
Yeah.
And knocked that Ford F-150 up on the side. You was able to not push it over, and it would still be able to go.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if you're dealing with any EMPs or anything along that line, was it 1970 and earlier, 1969 earlier? That's what you want to kind of stick with. It does have that micro, the components that will be fried by an EMP.
Yeah, there was a discussion on that. I don't remember if that was a live stream or if it was backstage, but I just don't know if there's enough real research to go off of what we could with today's technology. What would be protected, what wouldn't. But yeah, as a general consensus, I would agree that those year models would be safe, or at least pretty close.
That's the only thing that's keeping me from buying the EMP shield. I don't know if y'all seen those advertised, but it's kind of like a lightning arrestor that you can plug into your vehicle. You can also plug into the circuit breaker of your house.
Here's my deal with those. That wire, I mean, even the the deal itself, the mechanism itself, could work fast enough to catch it and shun it to ground, but that wire is not going to handle any kind of power. So that's my problem with them.
Talk about like the EMP shields and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've looked at them. I haven't pulled the trigger on them yet.
Yeah, not heavy enough of a gauge wire to handle that much current.
Well, I mean, even if it just shunted your normal power, that was not that would zap them wires. That's what I don't understand about what they're doing, and they couldn't explain it. I call them and talk to them.
Well, what would the difference between that and lightning arrestor hooked up to your antenna on the back be? I mean,
they're faster.
Lightning?
No, the EMP shield. They're supposed to be.
Yeah,
but that's the deal with all the fuses and breakers. They're too slow for that one deal of the EMP.
Okay.
They don't work fast enough, so the power gets through before it trips them. That's what they're having to redo in all the power systems is the breakers, because they're not fast trip breakers. Or that's from what I heard. I don't know. That's just from my research.
Yeah, I've been to that, and I see that they got different. Excuse me. They have different product. One that you put in your vehicle that's supposed to save it from an EMP, and you got a different one that hooks up to your circuit breaker, a different one that can hook up to your antennas, a different one that can hook up to you name it.
But here's the deal: you would either have to shun it to ground or disconnect it, and it doesn't disconnect it, and it doesn't. The wires aren't heavy enough to shunt the power to ground. So, what the hell does it do?
I mean, if it hooks up outside if it hooks up at long, I don't know.
And they won't tell you that. That's proprietary.
Yeah, of course, they want your $350 before they tell you anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, those wires look way too small to be able to do anything.
That's unfortunate.
I'm not saying they don't work. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to forget the money.
Be the military and all that, but I guarantee you, if what the military's buying is not that.
I think the Humvees and the APCs are coming already EMP proofed, ain't they? At least the new stuff that they're getting nowadays.
They said some of them are. Well, I don't think all of them are, but I think I have seen some specialized things that were. They're pretty much full caged.
Well, I'd like to do a Faraday cage, but it's kind of hard to Faraday cage in my entire shack I got.
Yeah, that's what sucks about radios. I'm sure they would get that because that's what they do is, collect millivolts and micro, little bits of stuff they hear. So I'm sure they'd get blowed right off the bat.
Not only that, but if you're dealing with EMP and you got a vehicle, I mean, you better hope that the 1970 and earlier works, or get you a horse-drawn carriage.
Well, you were saying you wouldn't be able to do the shack very well. What about this?
Yeah, my RFID shielding. Well, I mean, if you want to leave it up the entire time, but you'd have to cover up all holes. So you're talking about you'd have to cover up the holes that your antenna lines coming in, your power lines coming in. Then you're talking about resealing every time you leave the shack, every time you come in the shack, because you can't have any with a Faraday cage. You can't have any holes in it whatsoever.
Right.
And that's the deal with communication. You've got antennas. That's what they do. they pick up electrical signals in the air. So that's the bad thing about comms. That's what they're designed to do, is pick that stuff up, and they're really
Yeah.
sensitive. So I'm sure it just blow the guts out of them, probably.
Unless you disconnected the antenna every time you left.
Yeah.
You have to disconnect your antenna and the radio from the power.
True.
Because if you're dealing with the EMP, I mean, anything that's plugged in, hell, even if it ain't plugged in, I think it'd fry it.
Yeah. If not totally surrounded.
Yeah. That's the deal with your bug out vehicles, unless you get that, unless it holds true that it's 1970 and earlier. I don't know of any other way that you can EMP proof a bug out vehicle. Unless you bought a brand new Humvee or APC or go down Chaffee and steal one. I don't know.
Nobody's discussed that kind of stuff.
I don't know. What kind of person
There's
would?
a reason.
What in the world is this contraption? Huh. Okay. We'll watch a little video real quick.
Oh, there goes the stream. Yep, copyrighted. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, that's remote controlled. Never mind. I was looking up steam power. Apparently, there are some steam-powered off-road vehicles.
Never seen one.
They're all custom, homemade stuff. Sorry about the awkward silence, y'all.
I'm used to it.
That is a steam engine, four-wheel drive Land Rover. Huh.
I ain't got the know-how to even do that.
I don't even know any boiler mechanics.
No. Dude.
It's just hot water and pressure. What can go wrong?
Get crushed to death.
I agree. Yeah, 305. That's before the DEF, isn't it?
I thought about getting a diesel whenever I bought my truck back in February, but I don't know what the price of diesel nowadays. And
Yeah, I mean the price of any fuel, but as far as the power per price, I think you're still coming out on top with diesel.
I'd have to be able to justify it. I mean, it's not like I do not live on a farm or a homestead. I live in the middle of suburbia. So me having a diesel just doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, and for a lot of people it wouldn't. It's areas that, like you said, need that extra power per gallon, I guess is the best way to describe it. Or energy density. There we go.
Yeah.
I have not.
I've driven a truck,
Truck, yes.
Yeah. Not a diesel car.
Off-road vehicles, yes. Car, no.
Well, I might have when I was in Germany, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell the difference if I did or if I didn't.
Then it was probably gas,
Probably.
because you can't miss that sound.
Oh, no.
Although the cars are quieter, come to think of it. But it still has a distinct sound versus a gas engine.
Aren't most BMWs diesel?
Yeah, most of the Jettas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To a education talk about the import ban. Oh, okay. I guess there's no. Sorry, getting Discord updates. There's another channel talking about the ban right now. Well, we've been a little over an hour. I was trying to keep it short tonight. Thank you, everyone on the panel. It's always good discussion. Hope we can keep doing this. It may not always be on Fridays, because now that the school year started up, the football games and all of that wonderful time of year. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming by, and let's do this again.
Good talking to y'all.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good weekend. Stay safe.
Y'all too.